Hello and welcome to Guy Free Working on Me, a woman's journey to self-awareness. This is a great moment in your life, a moment where you have decided to stop taking care of everyone else and to just start to take care of yourself. Stick with me through these podcasts and we are going to take the best rides of our lives. Listen up. Guy Free Working on Me is not meant to be a permanent lifestyle. It is meant to be a time in your life where you stop basing your worth, your happiness, and your self-esteem on having a man at your side. This is going to be an all-out redeciding of who you are, who you want to be, and what you feel inside. Are you ready? Let's go. Hi, everyone. I'm Shauna Hoffman. Welcome to a much lighter episode of Guy Free Working on Me. The last two episodes were pretty profound for so many people, including me. The feedback that I've gotten as to the soul searching it brought up from my listeners about their programming around race and their programming around the voice of a woman has been eye-opening for all of us. I hope that as we fly through these episodes, you continue to dig deep into your thoughts and beliefs, morals, ethics, and values, for that is the true path to self-awareness. So, what should we talk about today? Love, life, healing? How about vacations? No, I'm really serious because I think we all need to get the hell away right now on a grand adventure, and we can't. Many of you know that I have another side of me. I'm an adventurer. I own a sailboat. I'm actually recording this as I sit on my sailboat right now. So if you hear a wave or a foghorn, just enjoy it. I love the ocean and I'm passionate about traveling the world. There's nothing that fascinates me as much as the psychology of travel. The opportunity to see other cultures, expand our consciousness through new experiences, test our abilities to adapt and change. Just the process of choosing a vacation represents your level of self-awareness at the time. We tend to go on remote control in our everyday lives. We have to get up and go to work or take care of the kids or take care of a parent or write our next article or book or get out our next Instagram promo or. What a vacation should be is a time to stop, to breathe, to reconnect with ourselves. And sometimes it's a time to find ourselves. Believe it or not, the first step is to really check in with your mind, body, and soul to see what you need to heal or maybe what you need to awaken again within you. Is there a part of you that's been shut down in order to get through your everyday life? Is there an artist in you that hasn't been inspired for months? Is there a muscle that you need to stretch or a dream you need to awaken? Can you do it at home? Can you do it while your everyday normal rules your brain? Forbes had this great article last year called, "This is Your Brain on Travel." Come on, I just love that name itself. Let me share some of it here. There's a growing body of scientific evidence that shows travel is very good for your mental health. Okay, come on. Between you and I think we already knew that. In the past decade or so, researchers have learned a lot about why travel makes us happy. Psychologists who study the economics of happiness call it the Easterlin paradox. Money can lead to happiness, but only up to a point, and then we adapt. A 20-year study asked participants to self-report their happiness after making major material and also an experiential purchase. Okay, experiential, travel, any kind of experience you do from mountain climbing to kayaking, whale watching, dance classes, art tours, safaris, bowling, bike riding, sailing. At first, the participants ranked their happiness with both kinds of purchases about the same. But over time, their satisfaction with material things went down, and their satisfaction increased with experiences that they had spent money on. All right, doesn't that make sense? We buy something, and it gives us a certain amount of joy, a quick fix, kind of like shopping therapy. But when we experience something, the joy lasts longer. Okay, back to the study. Travel can lower the risk of depression. We psychologists and therapists have known this forever. A whopping 80% of American travelers say they regularly take vacations where a primary goal is mental wellness. and overwhelmingly see a vacation as a chance to hit the reset button on stress and anxiety. That was 91% of the people who took this survey. When I come and spend just 8 hours on my boat, it's the escape from my norm, and I get a jump start on my happiness. Even the drive to the boat starts to bring down my blood pressure and clear my brain. Think for a minute what you can do right now to give yourself a 3-hour break. Just a small escape, just 3 hours. I know there are a few of you of a certain generation just heard the Gilligan's Island theme song in your head. I can relate. Okay, is there any place that you can go in nature right now? If you're in the city, is there a park that you can take a picnic to? If you're by the water, a lake, or a beach, can you go for a walk on the beach or just hang out in the sun? Here's a rule. You can't bring anything with you. You can't bring any work with you. If you can avoid bringing your phone or at least looking at it, that alone will bring down your stress and set you up for a break in your norm. Is there some kind of adventure that you can take in the next week? Is there an art walk in your hood? Last week, our neighbors bought a bingo set, and we all stayed on our individual corners, and we yelled out bingo. It was, oh my God, it was such a break and so much ridiculous fun. I know the reality is that so many women do not have the financial ability to take a vacation very often, or the freedom from work or childcare to be able to do so. But it's really, really important to find some way to at least balance your life by getting out of your norm for at least 24 hours as often as you can. And if it's not 24 hours, then 8 hours or 6 hours or that 3-hour tour. You have to find a way to balance out your life and add an experience to stave off depression and jumpstart happiness, or just to keep you happy. Listen to this. I love this. This is also from the Forbes article. There is something called brain plasticity. It explains the importance of getting outside our comfort zone and embracing the unfamiliar. People who travel to new places keep learning languages and continue to experience new things into old age, who are all far less likely to develop cognitive decay. Hey, I'm down with that one. According to Nussbaum, who did this study, he explains, travel by definition is dropping your brain into a place that's novel and complex. You're stunned a little bit, and your brain reacts by being engaged, and you begin to process on a deep level. Listen to what the Forbes article says to explain this. You have to think about small things when you're in an unfamiliar place, which is entirely the point. Learn a few words of a different language, take a walking tour, or even something as simple as trying a new food can get those neurons firing. We all know that just the experience of how to catch a bus or a train in a new city, or hail a cab or take the L or the subway or navigate the streets of a new town is a brain wake-up. Okay, here's something else that I love. The best part of a vacation sometimes is in the anticipation of it before you go. Just this can make you happier. More brain chemical stuff. Here we go. When we look forward to doing something fun, it triggers a release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter that helps control the brain's reward and pleasure centers. I remember when I used to plan my trips to see my grandmother. I never wanted to tell her. I wanted to surprise her. Then one day she said to me, knowing you're coming weeks before you do gives me weeks more excitement and joy about seeing you again. The anticipation of it is almost as joyful as when you come. Well, that made total sense. And now I know it was releasing dopamine hits to my dear old granny. I'm going to put the link to this article on the Guy Free Facebook group, along with a link to an article from Elite Daily. They list benefits of vacations, and it can go on and on and on. Travel can make you more creative. Think of it as yoga for your creative mind. Travel forces you to stretch in different ways and develop cognitive flexibility. That's the number one component of creativity. Have you ever taken a trip and then you come home with a new perspective on life, new goals, new awareness? All of a sudden you have wildly creative ideas that you never had before, artistic ones, new ideas for books you want to write or art you want to create or clothing you want to design or things you want to do to your decor at home, or just come home wanting to honor yourself and your needs just a little bit more? Breaking our mental patterns is where creativity stems from. Here's something that always touches me. Observing how cultures interact is the fastest way to make you more aware of the culture you came from. One of the things that I've learned from my travel is that sometimes it gives me a huge appreciation for the lifestyle I have. We used to import art from Haiti. My house is filled with Caribbean art. This island was one of the most creative and beautiful islands I'd ever been to. The Haitian people welcomed us with so much hope. It's also one of the poorest islands I have ever traveled to, probably the poorest. When I got home, I was so grateful for so many of the little things in my life, like running water. And comparing our cultures helped me to understand the Haitian people. When you know another country's struggles and successes, you have a deeper appreciation for the people of that country, and you find a new awareness of your own self. There's so much more that comes from travel. I could go on and on and on. The adrenaline rush we get from new things and new places. The next one is one that I really try to do for not only my ability to stretch my brain cells, but to meet people from other cultures. How many of you practice another language when you travel? They say that your brain gets stronger and faster when you're speaking another language. If you really think about it, it makes sense, right? I travel to Cuba as much as I can. This country has stolen my heart. The people, the island, the culture, the music, the food. There is no island that I feel closer to. But my Spanish is like high school Spanish. I took it for 5 years and I can just speak it enough to have the most limited conversations. When I get to Cuba, I have to let my ego go. I try so hard to speak my very broken Spanish in order to bond with the beautiful Cuban people I meet. It's a way that I honor them and their culture, and they are so kind to let me fake my way through it all. Now, here's one of the most important parts of vacations. Not just travel, but actual vacations, whether they're for a day or a week or a month. When you are away from the norm, you are so much more likely to become present focused. After all, you're out of the norm. It's when we break our patterns that we're able to be in the present and not on remote control. Now let's talk about who we travel with. It is so much fun to travel with like-minded souls. It's so exciting to share an amazing experience with someone, to come back from the day's adventures and compare notes, to laugh with other people or cry with other people. So many of us don't get the opportunity to meet new beings. Travel gives us that. It also gives us a new awareness of other cultures and lifestyles. I know I'm sounding like a travel commercial, but the psychology of our own travel is one of the most profound steps in self-awareness. Why? Because if it's done right, it's one moment in our lives that we can choose to heal. It's one moment in our lives that we can choose to grow out of our normalcy. It's one moment in our lives that we can breathe a little more stress-free, a little more in tune with our true beings. It's an opportunity to hear our voices without the chatter that takes place in our everyday lives. Oh, you have to get that report done, or damn, I have so much laundry to do. When you're out of your home and normal environment, there's a space and time to truly check in with your heart and see what you may be missing. I'd love it if we all did this every day, but we don't. Try this at home. Try this little home vacation check-in right now. Ask yourself, if I could do anything creative, what would I do today? If I could meet someone new today, where would I meet them? If I could sleep in and read a book, what book would it be, and would I do it? If I were to try a new kind of exercise today, what would it be? What muscle of my body needs stretching right now? Do I want to do more yoga or more weightlifting or bike riding? What muscle of my brain needs stretching? For instance, if I could learn anything, what would it be today? Am I taking deep, relaxed breaths? Okay, back to getting out on a vacation. Now I'm going to share with you my list of vacation musts. Number 1, don't overplan. Allow for things to change. We can't always control life outside our norm, and that's good. Embrace the unknown. Don't try to learn everything about where you're going and what you're doing. Allow some level of surprise. Number 3, take off your watch if you can. When we let go of time, we're really, really living in the moment. Unless you need to be someplace at a certain time, try to forget what time it is. If you're hungry, eat. If you're tired, sleep. If you want to take off on a walk, do it. Just try to let go of time. Number 4, take some chances with new foods. Wake up your senses. Number 5, if things change on your travels, flights are late, you lose your luggage, try and go with it and not stress. The worst way to ruin a vacation is to think it'll all go smoothly. I always say just expect the unexpected. Number 6, if you're traveling with someone else, allow for each of you to want to do different things. This is huge, especially in a relationship. Part of this is in the planning before the trip, and part of it is on the trip. You don't always have to do everything together. Number 7, allow for some alone time to sleep, breathe, relax, and contemplate. Number 8, check in with yourself. Allow time for self-awareness. This goes along with letting things you plan change. Even if you've made a plan, you can change it if you're just not in the mood, or you're just tired, or you've found something different and better to do. Be self-aware. Number 9, my biggest one, meet new people. Even if you're shy, say hello if you can, or just smile, especially if you're in another country. I wrote this article for the Huffington Post about my first trip to Cuba. I'll put the link up on the group. I was so excited about the music, food, old cars, that I almost missed the most important thing, the smiles of the Cuban people, the joy in their souls. Now, everywhere I travel, the first thing on my list is to meet the people of the place that I'm going to. Whether it's a waitress in the deep south or a bus driver in Bermuda, if I'm on a cruise, I talk with all of the crew from the bus boys to the captain. I am in their domain and I want to know them. I say hello and I look in their eyes. I want to end with something that I love. One of my favorite ways to travel is alone, just me. Where do I want to spend my next 7 days? In what city? On a beach? Where do I want to have dinner? How late do I want to sleep in? What music do I want to listen to today? It's truly magnificent to spend time alone with your own thoughts, or alone to just decompress, or alone to expand your knowledge of your own heart. But here's the truth. Alone travel can be exciting to some, and it can be scary for others. Many people feel that they have to be with other people to feel safe, especially women traveling alone. I get that. But others don't want to travel alone because they're afraid to be alone with their own thoughts. To spend time with just you means to spend time without the influence of others' needs or desires or thoughts or judgments. It means that your time is spent filled by your own needs, your own desires, your own thoughts, and your judgments. But herein lies the challenge. Women tend to be caretakers. It's so easy to make our decisions if it mends someone else's soul. But if we even contemplate the thought of a few days or a few weeks alone, we feel selfish, or others try to make us feel selfish. Remember what I say. Self-care is not selfish. If you can take even a few days to travel someplace alone where you feel safe, then you're looking at an opportunity to get to know yourself. If for one moment you can take a trip without having to cater to anyone else, you'll see sides of yourself that you never knew existed. You'll see strength. You'll see your fears. You may find fantastic freedom when you realize that you are the one that put the handcuffs on yourself. I am talking about traveling alone to take an amazing adventure to the deepest parts of you. Now, this podcast was recorded while half the world is in lockdown from the coronavirus. So in all truth, you may have spent too much time alone with you. I get that. Just ask yourself if while you were alone with you, did you do the work on your own self-awareness? My guess is that since you're listening to this podcast, you're already doing some of the work. And I thank you for allowing me to do it with you. Ladies, I'm hoping that this podcast has inspired you to get away, whether for a few hours or weeks. I wish for you a grand adventure, one that brings to you an even grander adventure to the deepest parts of you. Thank you for letting me into your life today, and I look forward to popping back in again next week. Thank you for joining me today on the Guy Free Podcast. My hope is that you leave this podcast inspired, fired up, and ready to take that next step on the magical journey of self-awareness. And then you come back and join us again. Oh, and if you can do me a quick favor, please leave me a 5-star review over on iTunes. I gain so much from reading the reviews and getting feedback from my listeners. Each week, I'm going to choose one special person who's left me a review to win my book, Guy Free Working on Me. That was the book that started it all. Make sure you add your name to the review, and I'll reach out to you if you're the winner. Thanks again for spending your time with me today. Be sure to visit me on the Guy Free Working on Me Facebook page and on workingonme.com for past episodes and insight into the fabulous journey to you.